Pam Bondi, former Attorney General of Florida, two-term Attorney General for Florida. She's in her Senate confirmation hearings right now. She's a Donald Trump nominee. And let me tell you something, she is not to be played with. Prior to this, even living in the state of Florida, I really didn't know much about Pam Bondi, and I'm glad. I'm glad now that I do, because I think this lady is the real deal. I think she is a patriot, and she wants justice. So let's go to this. Let's go to the next video here, and I want to say this: Ted Cruz. When you'll see the issues that Ted Cruz brings up, this is what I want to know, and this is what the public wants to know. We don't give a damn about the 2020 election. That is in the past. We are living for today. We want to know what's going on and what are you going to do to rectify the wrongs in this country. We want to get our country back on track. Okay, so Ted Cruz, these are the things that, as an American citizen, I want to know. These are paramount to me in regards to Pam Bondi's confirmation here.
I don't know that there is a more important position in this new administration than the position to which you have been nominated, Attorney General of the United States. I thought the exchange just a moment ago with Senator Hirono was illustrative. She asked you how you would respond if the president asked you to target his political enemies. It's rather striking because it's not a hypothetical. It has happened over the last 4 years. And I think perhaps the most tragic legacy of the Biden-Harris administration has been the politicization and the weaponization of the United States Department of Justice. And we don't need to ask hypothetically because Joe Biden publicly mused and allowed the New York Times to report it, calling on Merrick Garland, why will he not prosecute Trump more quickly? And Merrick Garland, sadly, he sat in that chair and promised to be apolitical, and he broke that promise almost the instant he walked into the Department of Justice. If you look on the west pediment of the Supreme Court of the United States, just above the entrance, there's a simple yet profound four-word phrase, equal justice under law. We have seen over the last 4 years a Department of Justice that systematically targeted the political opponents of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that systematically protected his friends and allies. And it is tragic to see the loss of confidence in the American people, in the Department of Justice, and in the FBI. I would note, I don't think there's an institution in America who has lost more respect from the American people than the FBI has in the last 4 years. That is a grotesque violation of the obligation of the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I want to start with just a very simple question. If you are confirmed as Attorney General, will you pledge to fairly and faithfully uphold the law regardless of party?
So help me God.
Amen. Look, and I want to be clear for folks at home. I don't want a Republican Department of Justice. I don't want a Democrat Department of Justice. I want a Department of Justice that follows the damn law. And I think the American people do too. That shouldn't be too much to expect. Now, I'm grateful to President Trump for nominating you. I think on any objective level, you're clearly qualified for this position. You have been a prosecutor for decades. You have been the elected Attorney General of the state of Florida, the third largest state in America, for 8 years. Let me ask you, in terms of your practice, how many criminal cases over the course of your career have you personally handled?
Handled thousands.
How many of those were before a jury?
Hundreds. I don't want to overstate, but hundreds. I was in a courtroom for many years. I tried 4 when I was an intern, jury trials. I think you had to try at least 20 in misdemeanor before you went to felony. Then you were in court every day, and I was also lead trial attorney for many years trying many cases, so.
And how many of those cases would have been before a judge?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds as well, but hundreds before a jury, I would assume.
And as Attorney General of Florida, how many lawyers did you supervise roughly?
Approximately 400, Senator.
Now, I also want to clarify something. During the course of this hearing, several Democrat senators have referred to you as President Trump's, quote, personal lawyer. Now I don't believe that is an accurate characterization. As I understand it, you represented President Trump as a White House special advisor during his first impeachment trial. Is that correct?
Within Office of White House Counsel, yes, Senator.
And is working within the White House counsel's office different than representing Donald J. Trump individually as his personal lawyer?
Absolutely.
How's it different?
You're working for the government. You're working for the Office of White House Counsel. You're not representing him in his personal capacity.
And so you have not represented him in his business affairs, in his personal life, or in any of the criminal trials he has faced?
No, Senator.
And, when it comes to weaponization, it's worth noting that in more than 2 centuries of our nation's history, no president had previously been indicted, no president had previously been prosecuted until the Biden-Harris White House came along. And in the last 4 years, we've seen Donald Trump indicted and prosecuted not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 separate times.
And 2 assassination attempts, Senator.
I have to say, Javert from Les Mis would be chagrined at the efforts of Democrats to do anything possible to take him down. And I believe the real target in this was not President Trump, but it was the American people, that these prosecutions were brought because partisan prosecutors were terrified that the American people would do exactly what they did in November of 2024 and vote to reelect Donald J. Trump.
By 77.3%. Million Americans, 77.3 million Americans.
Will you commit every day as Attorney General to follow the law, to follow the Constitution, to uphold the rule of law without favor and without regard to the partisan position of any criminal defendant?
Yes, Senator.
That's what we should all expect from an Attorney General.
That's what I expect. I believe her. I believe that she's definitely more than qualified for this position. Everything that I'm seeing and reading and interviews and all this information that's coming out about Pam Bondi, she seems like she's more than qualified for this position. And I think it's interesting that they're worried about, not all, of course, Ted, of course, the senator he got right to the core of our concerns, and that's the way it should be. So Ted Cruz, shout out to you. Ted Cruz got right to the core of what is important to us. They're the D's are more interested about getting sound bites from her in regards to the 2020 election. Look, we in year 2025. The people have spoken. We've reelected Donald Trump, and here we are. We want to know if Pam Bondi can do the job. That's what we want to know. I think she can. I think she's going to do an exceptional job. So let's get to a recap.
Well, that was pretty prompt, right about the time that Chairman Grassley said that they would break. I want to bring on Carrie Urban, Fox News legal editor, and Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and George Washington University law professor. We have been watching a couple of hours of this confirmation hearing for the United States position of Attorney General with Pam Bondi. And there were times when it got pretty chippy. I'm Harris Faulkner. I've just introduced my guest. Let's jump right in. So, Jonathan, what stood out to you in terms of what she would face critically?
Well, she's done extraordinarily well. I don't think they've landed a glove on her so far. She's been very tight in her answers, and she's kept her demeanor and control, even in the face of some pretty insulting questions. There is an otherworldly aspect to this. You have Democrats that supported the weaponization of the legal system against Trump, suddenly saying, in the name of God, tell us you won't be targeting political opponents. And I think that Senator Cruz brought that up, as did some of his colleagues, and said, you seem to be ignoring what we just went through. But in this case, Bondi has made clear that she has no intention of doing that. They pressed her on this enemies list that nobody has seen. What is most interesting is they're sort of turning this into a hearing for Patel. That is, they keep on trying to get her to speak against. Yeah, they keep on trying to get her to do some work against Patel.
I want to get to something, and perhaps this is kind of touching on what you mean. The back and forth between Democrat Senator Dick Blumenthal and Pam Bondi. Watch this.
I have to say also, really troubled, deeply disturbed by some of your responses and non-responses to the question that you've been asked today. You have to be able to say that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. You dodged that question when you were asked directly by Senator Durbin. You have to be able to say that January 6th insurrectionists who committed violence shouldn't be pardoned.
You said that I have to sit up here and say these things. No, I don't. I sit up here and speak the truth. I'm not going to sit up here and say anything that I need to say to get confirmed by this body. I don't have to say anything. I will answer the questions to the best of my ability.
I love it. I love it, man. She's not going to be some doormat for you. Pam Bondi, you want somebody that in that position that's going to be strong, law-abiding, go after the criminals. We want justice. Go after the criminals. If you are a criminal, we want Pam Bondi to go after you. We want the Department of Justice to actually do something and stop being weaponized to go after political opponents like they did Donald Trump. It's interesting. It's interesting that they're so afraid now. So, okay, so you can weaponize the Department of Justice, and now you're afraid that it's going to be weaponized against your side. No, I think that I think justice is going to be served. I think this is what I think. I think Donald Trump has learned from his first presidency. And I think right now he has a seriousness to him, and he understands, okay, I need people around me that's not going to backstab me. I need people around me that's not going to backstab me, that's going to have my back, but also they're going to go ahead and carry out their jobs and do their jobs in the best interest of the United States of America and the best interest of its citizens. That's what I believe. Donald Trump is thinking legacy now. He wants to know, what are the history books going to say about him? That's what I really believe. And I think that he wants to do all these great things to make America great again. I believe it. I see it in his face. I think he is very focused. And I think he needs the key people around him to execute his plan. I think his plan is definitely to make America great again. They're worried about things that the American public is not worried about. And from what I'm seeing with what Donald Trump is doing, it's legacy for him. He wants to be impactful. He wants to be a president that goes down in the history books as one of the greatest. Look at all the things that I've endured, and I didn't quit, and I came back and got reelected, and America became the America that we knew it could be. You know, I hope there's a lot of things that are fixed. You guys know where I stand. Financial sector, the stock market. We need true price discovery. We need illegal naked shorts brought to justice. We need all that eradicated. We are citizens of the United States, and we have been done wrong. We have been the victims of crime, and I hope that this is paramount. It's paramount to me, and I hope it's one of the things that's paramount to Donald Trump, because they did attack his company, DJT, and he has spoken out about it. His a CEO of DJT, Devin Nunes, has spoken out about it, and he is actually putting Devin Nunes in a position of power. I forget the where he has appointed him, but I'm hoping that things get done. Even the gentleman, Mr. Elon Musk, who is in the Department of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, his company was a victim of illegal naked shorts, counterfeit shorts. We can't make counterfeit money. Why should they be able to make counterfeit stocks with the sole purpose of bankrupting companies? I hope this is one of the main issues that they attack right away.